Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to discuss a couple of questions related to JCL PARM parameter. So first question, obviously the most popular one: how many ways are there to pass data from JCL to COBOL? So if our answer is 3, one is like obviously we pass the data through DD, input DD, and then second one we pass from in-stream sysinddd star, and third one is PARM parameter. So we will use the PARM parameter in today's class, and we will see how we use PARM parameter in COBOL, how we pass the data through JCL. Also, is there any other way if we can pass the data from JCL to COBOL? Yes, there is one more way, and which is here: how to pass more than 100 bytes of data using PARM parameter. So here we are not exactly using PARM parameter, but the extended version will be there, so keep watching till last. What if we don't define S9 of 4 comp in linkage section? What may happen and why we use that? We will see all of this in our class today. So let's get started with the COBOL program. Alright, we will see ID division. We have program ID, that's PGM PARM. Environment division, we have data division, then we have working storage section. Alright, now we will see WS display data. So we will use this to see the data in sysout. Okay, let's say we are saying 150 bytes of data we are passing, or we are supposed to supposed to receive 150 bytes of data, and here we will say what is the length, WS length, and here we will say PIC S9 of 4, and sign leading separate. So I'll tell you why we are declaring it. We will see what data is getting passed. We will see how many characters are there. We have declared it 150. Let's suppose we are passing 100 bytes of data in WS length. We should get 100. So we will use these variables in the display. Okay, we are going to write linkage section. Under linkage section we will say this is a standard one. We will declare one group variable, let's say PARM group, and under that we will define length, let's say WS, let's say PARM length. Okay, PARM length, and it is PIC S9 of 4 comp. Alright, we have one data field also, let's say it is WS PARM data, and it is PIC S9 of, not S9 of, we can declare it as X100, because 100 characters we are going to pass, the maximum 100 bytes of data we can pass. Okay, in procedure division we will say procedure division using WS PARM group. Okay, we will compute, okay, WS length, and we will say equal to WS PARM length plus 0, So this is just to store the value of ws palm length into ws length. We will try to display it, what values we are getting. Then we will say move ws palm data to ws display data. Okay, here we will try to display both the things. Display length of data is, and we will say ws length, and we will say display data is, and we will say ws display data. And I think we are good to stop the program using a stop run. So this is our program. Now we will save it quickly. We will compile it. So this is pgm palm we have already written here in the compiler, and maxcc8, it says maxcc8. okay, I think I know the mistake. So here we have used these compute and all statements in area A, so let's move them to area B. So from 12th column area B will be there. So this is the 12th column, I believe. Yes, I will save it quickly. I will submit the job again, and it is successfully compiled. Okay, in JCL we are going to write the JCL for the program which we have just written. Okay, here we will say, let's say JCL PARM. We have job notify %sys_uid. Here we will say step 01 and exec pgm equal to pgm PARM. Okay, we will declare this here PARM parameter we will define, and under PARM we will define 100 bytes of data. Let's say 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this is 10 characters. I'll copy this. 20 30. Alright, so here guys I'll tell you one more fact. I'll say columns. So if our data is not fitting here, so instead of writing the data here, what we can do, we will, this is 10 20 and 30 and 31 2 3 4 5 6, it is 36. Now in the second line we can declare the data starting from the 4th column and 16 column. So from 4th to 16, wherever we can define the data, if we define the data post 16, the spaces will be counted from 16. So we will try to define the data from 16th position. So it is 36 46 56 66 76 86 and 1 2 3 4 5 86 7 8 90 91 92 93. okay, again 93 1 2 93 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So I think we are good here, so we will count it again just for the safer side. It is 36, and it is 56. We will use the calculator. Let me use my calculator. It is 56 plus 36 and plus 7. So one character is missing, so I will put 1 here, so it should be 100. Now I'll use double slash. Alright, I will provide the step lib where our load module is present. I'll say this equal to share, and dataset name is IBM user dot main frm dot load lib. Okay, now I'll say sysout dd sysout equal to star. That should be fine, so it should work. Now we will try to submit this job. Here we have defined our program name, here we have defined the load library, and under sysout we are expecting the results. So we will submit this, and max EC is 0. We can see under s.st as JCL PARM is our job name, so this is the job name. Here we see we have the data which is having 100 bytes of data here. So here in the program, if you remember, we have written leading, sign leading separate. So here if you see F9, sign is leading, and this is 4 bytes of length which we are seeing 100. So we have counted the characters, 100 characters we have passed. If you remember, this is the display statement which we have made. So here we will count it. So anyway, it is 100 bytes of data, and at last we can see we have 2234561. all right, now what we will do, so here we have a few of our questions. There are 3 ways via which we can pass the data. We are talking about PARM parameter. Maximum 100 bytes of data we can transfer using PARM parameter, and if we try to use 1 extra byte, let's say we are passing 101 characters using PARM, what will happen, right? So I'll submit the job, and it is JCL error. And if we try to analyze it, see, remember this, I'll copy this. Okay, I'll copy this because it will help us to understand another scenario. So as of now we have passed 101 characters, and it says excessive parameter length in the PARM field. That means we have defined the length field there, and we have defined the data we are using PARM parameter with more than 100 characters. Then it is failing, saying excessive parameter length in PARM field. Now another question, why we define S9 of 4 comp. So for that I would request you to pay attention. Now I am removing this, making it 100 again. I will quickly go into our program. Okay, so this is our program. Here if we don't define the length, okay, if we don't define the length, what will happen? So we will see this first, and Once we save this and we try to compile this, it is successfully compiled. Now we will submit the job again. See, maxcc 0, we can see we have removed that as S9 of 4 comp field from linkage section, and we can see job is still successful. Okay, job is still successful, but there will be a little difference. If you see here, this is the display statement which we have defined there, but after that 2 extra spaces are added, 2 extra spaces. And if you remember, I have copied the data from the previous execution, last few bytes. So here if you see 6.1 is truncated from here. Why it is like that? Because we have not defined S9 of 4 comp there, which usually stores 2 bytes of length. Okay, here we have removed these 2 bytes of length, and as per the standard of IBM and standard of PARM parameter, if we don't define the length here, it will consume 2 bytes of data, 2 bytes from here, and the data will be truncated. So we have both the answers why we use this WS length, PARM length as S9 of 4 comp, because it used to store the 2 bytes of length. Now the last question is there a way we can pass the more than 100 bytes of data? Yes, there is a way. So we will compile this program first. Okay, it is compiled now. F3. Now if we want to pass more than 100 bytes, first we will delete this. There is one parameter called PARMDD. So basically PARMDD is just the extended version of PARM parameter only. So here PARMDD we can define, and here we will give one DD name, let's say DD1. Okay, and we need to have one data set, and which we will define under DD1. We will say DD and this is equal to share and DSN equal to IBM user dot parm dot data. So I have already created this. I'll show you the characteristics which it holds. Alright, start 3.4 and if you see, I have created this data set using the record length of 150 and block size 1500. It is a fixed block physical sequential file. Now if I show you, it has one record, and if I show you here the length of this data set, till here it is 100 and from here it is 150. So 150 characters it holds, and if we submit this job, the data will be passed, the 150 bytes will be passed from JCL to COBOL. And under COBOL, if you remember, we have not defined any file. I'll show you that. We have not defined any file here under environment division or data division. We are just using the palm length as S9 of 4 comp and data is as 100, and here we have ws display data as equal to 150. Everything will be same in COBOL program, just we have used PARMDD and we have defined DD statement here and we have defined the dataset. Now if we submit it, since see, if I submit this, it will fail for me. It will give the JCL error. See, it is giving the JCL error. Why? Because this PARMDD is the parameter which works in a specific, or like at least in the version OS MVS version which I am having. I'll show you that. So in s dot here, if I say who, so if you see my ZOS version is 1.10. so this PARMDD will work if your version is 2 or above. Okay, so it is the very older version I am using. In your case, if you will try to use this PARMDD, you will be able to successfully pass the data. And that's our last question. This is the way which we use to send more than 100 bytes, and I hope this video helps you to understand the PARM concept in JCL and COBOL both. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.